August 4th, 2026, you were going to be able to vote on Amendment 4 that can protect our Constitution. I want to go over the current situation in the state of Missouri and why it's such an important thing to support Amendment 4. Right now, with citizen-led initiatives, and I say citizen-led in quotations because a lot of times they are special interest-led with a lot of money from out-of-state organizations. They have to simply, right now in the state of Missouri, only gather around 175,000 signatures out of the over 6 million citizens here in the state and turn that into the Secretary of State for verification to get something on the ballot. It doesn't go through any committee. It doesn't go through any vetting. It goes through no research. It can just be flopped on the ballot if you have enough ballot signatures. The next thing that happens is, like I said, out-of-state money starts pouring in, and sometimes this out-of-state money is also funded by out-of-country money. To put it into perspective, a normal House race can cost anywhere between $35,000 to $50,000. A Senate race about $250,000 to $500,000. These ballot measures, however, are bringing in millions upon millions of dollars for outside entities to change what goes into our Constitution. Missouri is only one of 18 states in the Union that allows its citizens to change the Constitution. And we are the most lax, which is why we end up drawing all of these outside entities into our state and getting involved in our ballot measures. So a couple of misinterpretations of Amendment 4 is that it will take away the people's rights, which it will not. Amendment 4 only deals with constitutional amendments. A constitution should be difficult to change. There has been a whopping 126 amendments added to our Constitution here in Missouri since 1945. That's less than 100 years. There has been 27 added to the United States Constitution. We should make it just as hard to put things into our constitutional document here in the state of Missouri as it is to get something into the Constitution for the United States. It is not a statute book. It is a rule book for the government to follow to keep us from losing our liberties and our freedoms. Instead of only 7 out of the 114 counties in the city of St. Louis making decisions for all of the 114 counties, it would require a simple majority in each congressional district, ensuring that everybody's voice is heard and not just the larger cities or the more populated areas. Secondly, it would ban foreign funding from our ballot measures. It would stiffen penalties for signature fraud, and it would ensure that each citizen-led ballot initiative gets a committee hearing that is available to the public. It would not only give citizens the ability to view and hear what is going into the ballot initiative before it goes on the ballot, but it would also require that people get the entire ballot measure given to them prior to going to the ballot box and voting. So, for example, the recreational pot amendment that passed a few years ago was 38 pages. I would imagine if somebody handed you a 38-page document and told you to read up on it before you vote, you would likely vote no, because who can read 38 pages and make an educated decision within moments of going into the ballot box? Also, it does not affect citizen-led statutory initiatives, only constitutional. And as I said, it should be difficult to change our Constitution. It's difficult to change our U.S. Constitution. Our founding fathers gave us fair warning about direct democracy, which is what our current IP situation is here in the state of Missouri. It is like two wolves and a lamb deciding what's for dinner. With direct democracy, it is mob rule. In other words, the mob, if they want to take what you have, they can vote to take what you have. If they want to vote to take your rights away, they can vote to take your rights away. We are a republic for a reason, so that the majority does not trample on the rights of the minority. And when I say minority, I mean in Missouri, the 107 counties that are consistently being silenced, because the 7 counties that are the most populated are making decisions for the entire state. It is actually a very dire situation we have here in the state of Missouri. Not only is passing initiative petition reform important to protect our Constitution and its integrity and the voices of all the people in Missouri, but there is also a potential ballot going on November's ballot, November 3rd. There is a group called Respect Mo Voters, and if you look them up, you will see that they are a very left-wing group. They are well known for starting petitions on random left-wing things and going around and gathering signatures. They ended up at my foster son's college, and they were feeding him a line of bull about what they were having him sign for, and thankfully, because I taught him well, he chose not to sign. Respect Mo Voters was also one of the organizers of the No Kings rally in October of 2025 in Jefferson City, and you can see a picture of one of their organizers here. She's dressed as a cow. They were collecting signatures at the No Kings rally and helped organize it. So what they are planning on putting on the ballot in November, on November 3rd, is that it would take an 80% majority in our legislature to attempt to put anything on the ballot that the citizen-led initiative had passed in any previous year. We will never have an 80% majority in one party or the other ever. So basically, if they are able to collect the 170,000 signatures and put millions of dollars behind it and get it onto our Constitution, our legislature can't do anything about it one way or the other. Not only that, it would stop our legislature from being able to do any sort of initiative petition ballot measures in the future to secure our elections. What their ballot measure also proposes is that our legislature can't make any amendments that would either increase the amount of signatures that are needed or do anything with the petition process in general. So as you can see, I know there are people out there who wish there was the perfect amendment. However, perfection, as I've said before, is subjective and different for everyone. This is the amendment we have. It is a good amendment that will ensure that all Missourians get their voices heard and not just the ones in the 7 most populated counties. And we need to take this opportunity to protect our Constitution while we can. Otherwise, we might just run out of time come November. On August 4th, remember to vote yes on Amendment 4 to protect Missouri's Constitution.